Hi guys, we're here to talk about AirAsia listing again. If you've seen in the headlines, there have been a lot of headlines saying that AirAsia is listing its airline business. And you probably thought to yourself, wait a minute, isn't AirAsia already listed? Well, right. In fact, AirAsia as an airline is parked under two listed entities. Capital A, which was rebranded from AirAsia Berhad, and AirAsia X under the stock code AAX, right? So today I'm going to explain to you kind of what's going on and summarize, really, is it really a new listing? Actually, the short answer is a no. But I want to explain to you how it works. If we go back in time, AirAsia Berhad was actually listed in 2004 on Bursa Malaysia. Back then, AirAsia was up and coming and an emerging company. They announced they were going to buy 100 Airbus A320s back then. Their business model was actually very simple, right? AirAsia was really just short haul. Anything 4 hours, they don't do transfers, you can't do connecting flights, that kind of thing. It was very simple business. It was point A to point B, anything less than 4 hours. Now the question is, why 4 hours? If you think of, one day we have 24 hours, right? Let's say theoretically, if you could fly the plane 12, 15, 16 hours non-stop, what it effectively means is that you have 188 seats on an Airbus A320. If you say do a 2-hour trip, which means that you can actually fly maybe 4, 5, 6 times in a day, which means that one seat can be sold multiple times in a day. So kind of give you an idea why short haul works as a business. It's not a new business model. It's been run for many, many years in Europe and also in US. If you're familiar with Ryanair or Southwest Airlines in the US, they've been running this model very successfully, right? So that's why you can get airline tickets really, really cheap. Now, what happened if you kind of fast forward maybe 5, 7, 8 years later, AirAsia decided they want to go into the long haul business, right? And that was AirAsia. So they actually had two entities, right? So if I kind of put this here, let's call AA AirAsia short haul, and then you have here AirAsia X, which was long haul, which meant anything more than 4 hours, AirAsia X will fly. So for example, if today you flew from KL to Perth, Melbourne, or maybe Sydney, 5.5 hours, 8 hours, 8 hours, right? So that will be AirAsia X. That model changes very, very differently from a low-cost short-haul business, because 8 hours means if you're only 24 hours a day, technically you can sell the seat once, twice, 3 times in theoretical terms if you fly 24 hours a day, which is not possible. Yeah. So it was a very, very different business, which means you can only sell the seat theoretically 3 times versus if you did 2 or 3 hours a day. And they were trying to do a low-cost model. Now, at that point in time, globally, because if you're an airline, you have to be a global business, no one has actually successfully executed a low-cost, long-haul model, right? Fast forward to today, we know AirAsia X, they were listed. Now, long story short, AirAsia X did not work. They had to do a capital reduction. A lot of the creditors had to take a haircut, right? So what's this whole, AirAsia listing again? So you got to understand 2 different entities now. So what happened was during the pandemic, when the airlines could not fly, they then started to pivot. Now, not to say they pivot majorly, but previously, if you look at AirAsia, they got into big payment systems. They were in the logistics business. So not pure airline. So they had other businesses as well. But kind of they pivoted and said, you know what, COVID, let's do something. They went into that app business, or AirAsia Move that you see today, where it's a food delivery business. They wanted to build a super app. They bought GoJet in Indonesia. AirAsia was then rebranded as Capital A. Not only is it not just an airline, it's got all these other businesses. Now, of course, because the airline business, it could not fly in 2020, 2021, or very limited flights, it was very difficult for them to turn a profit. They fell into, what the exchange calls a PN17 status, right? Got to figure out now how I'm going to get out of PN17 status. So imagine they have the airline business here, right? Now, of course, when I say short-haul airline business, this included not just Malaysia, they had Thailand operations, Cambodia, they have AirAsia Philippines as well, and a few other countries as well. So all this was kind of grouped under airlines, and that was the one that was in distress. So to the investor right now, if you buy into AirAsia, are you really buying an airline business, or are you buying an super app business, or are you buying a logistics business? What business are you in? So to kind of simplify all that, because AirAsia X business didn't work anyway, but they had a listing status, yeah? So kind of almost like a win-win situation. So it's not a new listing. So what's happening is that this is now going to be parked under AirAsia X. So in exchange for the airline, shareholders of Capital A are now shareholders of the new entity, which I believe it's going to be called AirAsia Berhad. So this is going to be the new entity. So is this a new listing? Not really. You know, is this then a pure airline play? Yes, it is, right? So kind of if you understand Google and Alphabet when they kind of demerged and kept the businesses very separate, Google being, you know, the search engine and their main revenue generator, Alphabet, or stands for Alpha Bet, right? On long-term bets, right? So you could kind of separate them as a holding company and the company that's actually operating. So the new entity that's going to be listed or that's already listed, or they'll be taking over the listing status as AirAsia. So really what they've done is just kind of divested and separated the business. So it's a little bit easier for investors to say, okay, I want to invest in the airline business, I'll buy this. Oh, okay, I believe in AirAsia, move their business, right? Or their super app business, then yeah, I'll invest in this. So in a nutshell, it's not a new listing. It's kind of a little bit of financial engineering to move stuff together or to move things separately so it's easier for investors to digest. I hope you guys learned something. And if you have any comments, please click in the comments below.